You know, I was thinking about this last night, and forgive me for thinking out loud. I really, it just crossed my mind that I've been saying this for years, and probably the only one who have been saying it out loud. I bet you I'm the only one who have said this out loud. I wonder why white people can run things better than any other race of people. Well, at least better than black people and Hispanics. I wonder why. I really do wonder out loud why. How come, what is it that white people have that causes them to run businesses and communities and run things better than Hispanics and blacks? I'm just thinking out loud. I've noticed, and I've said this over the years, I had a janitorial service prior to starting Bond. And when I were employed black employees, I caught hell in my company. Just hell. It was always something going on. They had a bad attitude. They would be late. When they come, they would not work hard. They would take breaks every 10 minutes. And I noticed that when I worked for other people as well. I worked for a hospital, 2 different hospitals, about 14 years, 7 years apiece at each one. And most of the problems came from black people, in all honesty. I'm not making it up. I'm just wondering out loud, why is that? But most of the problems came from black employees. When I worked for those hospitals and I started my own business, prior to that, in my early 20s, I worked for a supermarket in L.A., and one of my first jobs. Then I worked for Sears. I've been all over the place. And everywhere I went, most of the problems came from black people. They would be late, complaining, halfway work, always bitchy attitudes. Oh, can I say bitchy? Bitchy just means bad. And all of my life, well, not all of my life, since moving away from Alabama, because living in Alabama, I didn't see it like that. Working in Alabama, I didn't hear black people complaining and showing up late, and they took care of business. So I'm like that. I believe in taking care of business. And I noticed, after I started my janitorial service, it was like that. So I stopped hiring black people, and I hired Hispanics. I even had at one time a business partner, a black guy, good friend, very good friend. I love him. And even he wasn't like up to par. I had to drag him along a lot of times. So we finally, got him out of the business. I did, at least. And then even today in my business, most of my problems come from the blacks. Not all the blacks, of course, but most of them. The argument, the attitude. I wonder why that is. And look how Obama has done quasi over in Afghanistan. He screwed up a good relationship that the United States had with this man. So Andre, my audio engineer, is telling me that they cooperate most of the time, meaning that white people cooperate with one another. Yeah, they do. White people cooperate with one another. And it's due to their Christian values, honesty, according to Andre. That's why white people get along better and work together. But I'm telling you, folks, and if you have had these experiences with black people, I'd like to hear from you about them. Because I'm sure I'm not the only one that's experienced working with blacks, and it's just been hard. With my non-black employees, I can just tell them what to do, and most times don't even have to tell them what to do. They see things and just do it. But with the black employees, it's all, and I've heard white businessmen and women tell me in private that they don't like hiring black people. I was at the gym. I told you about this at the gym, and a foreigner. He looked like an Arab. I can't tell them they all look alike now. He was telling me that he was like, Jesse, and this guy has an international business where he goes around the world and he made some type of computer parts or something, and he sells them to other companies around the world. So he has a major business, according to him. And he said, I'm at a point, I'm only hiring white people. I don't hire black people because it's always something. It's just messy. They're always angry. They don't want to work. And then when you have to get rid of them, they want to cry racism. And they try to sue you. He's like, I can't tell you how many times they've taken me to court. So I'm just not going to hire them. And I said, you know what, sir? I don't blame you. I can't argue with you. My producer and audio engineer were talking about the blacks, why they don't work well, and the Hispanics. And both of these guys have some experience with that as well. James is the producer here.
Hello.
And hello. 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 And James, I asked you about a company you worked for prior to coming here, and you said you guys didn't hire blacks either, right?
No, the company I worked for, we didn't hire. We had one black guy.
And how did that go?
It went okay. He just did what he wanted. He was a good worker, but he did what he wanted.
What do you mean did what he wanted?
He didn't go the extra mile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you hired, what else? Hispanics?
Yeah, mostly Mexicans, Honduran.
And how did that go?
It was pretty bad because maybe one of them was a good worker, but he stole as well.
He stole?
According to the other guys, he stole. And yeah, he did steal. He admitted to me he stole. And the rest of them stole, and the rest of them pretended to work or would sometimes work. But
I wonder why they steal. I noticed that I've had a couple of workers at my house, cleaning ladies.
Yeah.
And they seem so sweet and nice, and they're old, and they just seem so lovely.
Yep.
But they will steal your afro.
Yeah.
They both stole from me. One lady would come to clean, and she would always have a big bag with her. And
yep.
And the bag would not, it wouldn't be full, right? And I noticed whenever she would leave, especially if I made it home before she left after cleaning, the bag would be stuffed with stuff, and we found out she was stealing food.
They figured you have plenty.
Juice and water and everything.
You have enough. You didn't show your appreciation enough.
That's why she stole?
Sometimes.
And so they work for your company, they stole too?
Yeah.
Well, and Andre, you said you had the same experience with them.
Yeah, not so much with the stealing, but I've noticed that the Mexicans, when they do work for you, all of a sudden they'll just disappear on you. One morning you come to work expecting them to be at work and finish what they've started, and then they're just not there.
Really?
You call them, no one picks up, and they just completely vanish.
Yeah, Jay.
Most of them didn't have pride in their work.
Yes.
The Mexicans?
Yeah.
But
not all.
They look like they were hard workers, though.
They look like it.
Yeah, but it's not true, huh?
They act like it.
Yeah, because I was thinking about the housekeepers that
They work day in and day out. You give them a little credit, but they're not the good, hard, honest workers that they're made out to be.
I wonder why they steal from you. You pay them and they still stealing. Oh, I think what it is, as you just said, and Andre, I don't know how you feel about this, but they think you have money because you hire them.
Yep.
And so they believe that you can afford it, so they just steal from you.
Yeah.
That sounds like the ends justify the means. That's crazy.
I know. And what do you guys think about the black employees? Am I wrong about this? You guys work with black people.
Nope, you're not wrong.
I'm not wrong?
No.
And why you say I'm not? Why do you say I'm not wrong?
Because you can see the attitude in most black people. They just don't want to, they just don't like it.
Don't like what?
They don't like being under you.
But yet they have their hands out for the paycheck every other week. So you notice that too?
Yeah.
You, Andre?
I'm gonna let the white man take the heat this time. Don't get me involved.
Andre got to look at them when they come in today.
Let him take the heat.
But let me ask you, is James wrong
No, he's not wrong. He's absolutely right. I've noticed it in prior businesses too.
about the blacks?
Yeah, they do tend to, and not all of them. There's very hardworking ones too, and mostly the hardworking ones are not from here. They're from Africa or somewhere else.
Yeah.
Right? They're foreigners. But the ones that were born here and grew up here, they do tend to. Most of them do tend to make excuses and play around while work.
And then
pretty
they get mad if you correct them and
Yes.
try to imply that you're wrong.
Yes,
You notice that?
I do notice that. Yes.
Both these groups grew up in socialized atmospheres.
Blacks and Hispanics.
Yeah.
That's what it is, you think?
Part of it, I think.
They feel
The
entitled.
whole culture is corrupt. In Mexico, it's corrupt, and in most of the Black America, it's corrupt.
And so you're not, are either one of you surprised that Barack Obama screwed up this relationship with Karzai and the rest of the world because he's lazy too and don't want to work and doesn't want to work and they messed up the whole country?
No,
He admitted that he was lazy.
and he's not the kind to confront privately. He's the kind to talk trash about you publicly behind your back.
That's what they'll do too. They don't work well, but then they'll talk about you.
Yeah.
Oh my God. What happened to my people? So, Andre, I have you on record saying that I'm not wrong about the blacks and the Mexicans.
Oh, I've said that a long time ago.
Yeah, I know. And James, I have you on record saying that I'm not wrong.
Yes.
So and the last question because I got a thing from AC of Ways of Gray. He's trying to prove me wrong.
Lord.
No. So when you see the blacks giving me trying to give me a hard time when I give them orders and try to get them to work and do the right thing, what are you thinking here?
Oh, that they're just they're resenting the pressure.
Oh.
They're mad at the pressure that you're putting on them.
And what are you thinking, Andre?
I don't know. I've never thought of it that way. Maybe I'm not paying attention.
You just look at them and roll your eye.
I don't know. Honestly, I've never paid attention to what my reaction at that point.
AC say that the Tuskegee Airmen was run by blacks. Wasn't it? I think that's what you want to say. It's a typo error. That is an organization that was run by blacks and ended up being better than the U.S. Air Force. Does that count for a black organization that was good?
But that was back then, right?
Thank you.
And
That's different.
They were in a totally different culture.
Yep.
A no excuses culture.
That's right.
That's why they did better.
Amen. That's exactly what I was going to say. And during those days when I was growing up, blacks were not like this. We didn't know welfare. We didn't rely on someone to take care of us, so we worked hard. That's all we knew. And so the Tuskegee Airmen, that's how they were, because that's how Tuskegee was at the time. If you go to Tuskegee Institute now, that was started by Booker T. Washington, it's total socialism. And the complaints about the black students compared to the other students, the foreign students and others, are out of control. I mean, overwhelming. The last time I went there, that's all I heard, how bad the black students were.
Not surprised.
They have free money, they can go to school there for free, and they're too lazy to show up to register. Thank you, guys.
What's the trait you most deplore in yourself and the trait you most deplore in others?
Laziness.
You're lazy?
You know, it's interesting. There is a deep down underneath all the work I do, I think there's a laziness in me.
Wow. That's deplorable. But we see now that it's true. He is lazy. All he wants to do is play golf and basketball. and look at the country now. But he's telling the truth. And give those old stupid speeches. It's easy to stand up and give a speech reading from the teleprompter. Just speeches, just words. But we're talking about why is it that we have lost relationship with Afghanistan, one that Bush built up. And Donald Rumsfeld said that an ape could have done it better than what Obama has done. Ways of Grace said, point well taken. Once we explained that Tuskegee Airmen were different men. They were cut from a different cloth than the blacks are today. We were talking about how Obama has not only screwed up this country, but foreign relations as well. Even with the Afghanistan president, he no longer has a good relationship with that guy. And Bush maintained that relationship. Now it's downhill. Rumsfeld said that a trained ape can do better than Obama. And so I got a text from Ermins, my PR guy. He said, Rumsfeld said a trained ape can do better than Obama. So Obama could outperform an untrained ape? That's cute, Ermins. Okay, I like it. Let me go to Mays. Out of data. Mays, you wanted to respond to the work ethics that most black people lack today.
Oh, I didn't say that. I was talking about the work ethic where most people black people have to train. We can take your office for an example. All the people that you're training there, that they're going to learn from you and take it and use it as if it was their own. And
that's okay with me.
Always have to train. We always have to train Caucasians, and then they move above us.
What are you talking
about? Black people.
Black people have to train Caucasians, and then they
them all the time.
What are you talking about?
We have to train them.
How you train them?
Teach them how to do stuff.
Oh, you teach them how to be. You teach them how to be lazy.
No. Then they get promoted and then act as if you didn't train them to do what they're doing, and so they learn how to do it on their own. We always train them.
I have breaking news.
They don't know how to do nothing. Look at Ben Carson.
Maze, I have breaking news for you. This is just in. It's getting serious. Obama just threatened to unfriend Putin on Facebook.
You're right, on Facebook. Did you hear the president say it? That's the ignorance of y'all. And now I have a portion for you and Curtis. I got something for him. I got, when they created, I want to be the first one to endorse it, to turn y'all the color that y'all want to be so y'all won't have to represent the black community.
What are you talking about, Maze?
Because y'all hate it so much.
Maze, you really think I hate the black community?
Yes, you do. You don't hate the black community. You hate being black.
Can you give me proof of that? In the last hour, the first hour of the show today, we talked about the fact that America has lost relationship. Obama has lost relationship with Karzai, the president of Afghanistan, whereas President Bush and others had a good relationship with him, and now it's gone. And it's being reported that Obama does not have a relationship with any of our allies around the world. He's screwed up all of those relationships, and even with the heads of our enemies around the world. And that I asked the question, why is it that whenever black people take over something, it goes down the hill? It doesn't work. Black people don't know how to run businesses. They don't know how to run communities. They don't know how to do anything. And Obama admitted that he's lazy. And so I'm thinking that's why he didn't keep this relationship with Karzai of Afghanistan, because he was too lazy to call the guy. He just wanted to play golf. And Obama admitted to Barbara Walters that he is lazy. And I know that most black people are lazy. And the Hispanics are too, and those that will work, they steal from you. But white people tend to take care of things. They work hard, look at their businesses, look at their communities, look at their children. They work hard. You could white people can move out of a nice, beautiful, groomed community, and blacks will move in. It's a ghetto overnight. And also with Hispanic, they'll move in and they bring the chickens and the hogs. They have clothes hanging out. They have cars in the driveways where they've been working on them oil all over the drive. It's a mess. What's wrong with color folks? And examples of Compton, California, Chicago, Houston, Gary, Indiana, Detroit. And I'm bringing that up because some of you didn't hear the first hour, so make sure you podcast. My producer, James, who was white, he came in and he testified that, yes, you're right, the Mexicans and blacks are like that. And so did Andre about the Mexican. He was scared to say it about the blacks because he going to have to look at these black folks that are coming up in here this morning. And he doesn't want to have to deal with their attitude. Just so scared. And so May said that I hate, what did May say? At first she said I hate black people, but then she said, no, you hate your color. You hate being black. Am I right, Mace?
Yes, I did say that.
From Dayton, Ohio. So I ask you to hold on to give me proof that I hate. So you admit I don't hate black people, right?
Some.
I hate some black people?
Yes, you do.
Which ones I hate?
Because everything you name, you can find it in the black community, too, if you went to the right one.
I said black community.
And everything you name about trash, you can find it in the white community, too.
Which blacks do I hate?
You hate, I said you hate the color of your skin.
No, you said I hate some black people.
The ones you talk about every day, I guess.
Oh, you guess. And why do you say I hate being black?
Because you want to go everywhere white people go because you think that they keep everything nice. You think that they do everything right, which you're wrong.
Oh, well, how am I wrong?
I don't know. Maybe you need to go down you need to go over to down where you came from. Just like I told you over in the trailer park. Go check them out and see what you see over in there. And come back and tell them, and you'll take your little staff with you. But I say they always got to do, just like you said, the white man march. The white man march, where do you think they got that from?
Maze, let me ask.
They got to even use that they got from us to do that, too.
Maze, but all you people do is, you can organize a march to complain and be upset because the white man won't give you something. That's easy to do.
Nobody's listening to them anymore, Jesse. That's the problem. They done cause so much destruction and keeping people. It's like with the president. We don't want people to like them because he has a problem.
Listen.
What?
Andre said here. Andre is asking me to ask you. He said, "Yeah, that's true. You can find trashy white people."
But do you hear white man sitting on the radio doing that?
Hold on. What? White community. But give us one example of a good black community. Just one.
They got. You can go to Maryland. The richest. You can go to Maryland and you can find rich black people there. You can go down in Montgomery, Alabama, and you can find neighborhoods
where black people are in control.
Where black people live and run things.
No, one where black people are running it.
What'd you say?
Name one where black people are running it.
That's what I said.
Those rich black people you're talking about have moved into the white communities.
They have not moved. They live in black communities where they run their own. They keep their yards pretty and everything else. But people think that they're white communities, but they're black people living in them.
Right.
So you don't go around no kind of people. You want to go down, but you go down to what poor white trash is. You don't find no white man sitting on no radio talking about his poor white trash. Only people you find like that is people like you saying poor white people. I don't know what thing we can't see.
White people complain about each other.
Yeah, right. Do we have one sitting on the radio? Because Rush Limbaugh, the biggest drug addict it is.
Maze,
y'all don't even have no problem about him.
Maze,
but I'm saying white man.
Real fast,
okay, the women don't even like him no more.
Give me an example of.
Go to Atlanta, you will find one.
Tell me why I hate my color. You said
you hate your color because you're always saying you want to go where white people are. You say they going out of space, you want to go out there too. You don't want to go live because the closer they get to the sun, it's gonna mess them up. But they're gonna need somebody like you. But the difference is that they don't.
Maze.
What?
If you don't calm down, I'm gonna come there and I'm gonna bring my belt.
I'm gonna bring my hickory stick to you because that's what you need. And what I want.
Let me ask. Atlanta is not a good example. They are begging white people. They have nice houses in Atlanta. They are begging white people to move back to Atlanta, Maze, because Atlanta at one point was a beautiful, beautiful city.
And Atlanta is still.
And then the blacks took over.
Depending on where you go.
Maze, calm down. And then the blacks took over, and the white folks left, and now they're begging the white people to please come back.
You're right, Jesse. That's what you say.
Tell me one last try. Tell me something about you said I hate my black. The proof is I want to move.
You hate your blackness. That's what I said.
And the proof is I want to move to outer space with the whites.
Yeah, you say it every day.
I want to do that, Maze, because I'm not going to live in a ghetto. I was
Because
raised
they
in a
don't- they
ghetto.
don't-
I'm not going to stay in no ghetto just
I don't
to
live in a ghetto.
just to
So what
make
do they got
black
to do with
people just to make black people feel good. You're not going to
Listen,
find me
you
living in a
want-
ghetto. You crazy?
Can I make my point?
And then as far as you're right. You don't live in a ghetto. Mike
I
offer
don't, but I
you.
can go to. That's why I don't live in a ghetto.
Mike
I
from
live in a
San
community.
Antonio, I know. Mike from San Antonio, Texas, offer you a free
And
house
I'm offering-
for
I'm
a
offering
whole
Mike a-
year
And I'm also
in
offering him a free
Ohio.
medication.
Listen, mate. He offered you a year's free rent in his house that he's rented out there in Ohio in the ghetto. You turned it down.
But I'm not looking for anything free. See, just where you get the Caucasian mix it up, the black people are always looking for something free. You'd be surprised every time something free is given away, who's in the back of the line and who's in the front to get the free stuff.
And
It's not
Mike
the black
told
people.
us that you lived in a white community. You
I don't
denied
live
it.
in a white community. I live in a black community.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
No, you don't.
Tell me where I live. But anyway, you're just trying to change the conversation.
Okay, let's
so-
do FaceTime and show
Well,
me
white
your
people-
community.
Jesse, but what white people getting mixed up is when people don't
Babe,
want to act like
I gotta
something,
take
they be
a
like,
break. I gotta take a break. Back in a moment.